Hey, hello, everybody. Thanks for coming on. Welcome to Darien's 2020 Bicentennial Committee meeting. It's Wednesday, December 9th, 11 o'clock, and we're holding this meeting virtually via GoToMeeting. We are being recorded. The recording will be sent to Jim afterwards, so everybody can view it. Everybody in the town can view it at their leisure. So welcome, everybody. Is everybody okay, safe, and healthy? I hope. That's good.
Yep.
Yes.
Very good. Excellent. So just a couple of things first. Sarah Kina can't make it, but she approved the meeting. We've got an emergency work meeting. Bob Pascal can't make it, and Libby also is Libby's very busy at the bookstore. Unfortunately, I have some bad news. Susan Cater resigned from the committee. She's no longer with the Chamber of Commerce. She still could be on the committee, but she decided to resign.
I'd like to publicly thank Susan for her work, especially all the work that she did on all the mailings that we did for 2020. She really researched that, really did a great job on it. So thank you, Susan.
I agree.
Yeah, not only did
Was so helpful and really great with the mailings and the strategy and stuff. And she had a lot of great advice on many of the different projects. So she was really helpful.
Yeah. Absolutely. So let's put that in the minutes, Jamie. And also, she did a lot of work on the Chamber of Commerce publications that came out, for the town. We got notice in there. So that was really fantastic. Has everybody hopefully got a chance to read the November meeting minutes?
Yes.
Can I comment on something first? First, I want to thank
Absolutely.
Jamie so much for all of her great work on that. But I have to say, I wish I were going to be a fly on the wall 100 years from now when somebody's looking at these minutes and sees the church pastor has also agreed to be kidnapped. It's kind of funny. But thank you, Jamie. No, they look great as usual. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So is there a motion to approve the November 18th minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Okay, all those
Who said
in
yes?
favor say aye or raise. I'm
Mia.
sorry, what?
Mia, thank you.
All those
Sorry.
in favor either raise their hand or if they're on a phone say aye.
I think I have to abstain because I missed the meeting, right?
Well, I do too, but I think I was wondering the same thing. I should know this, but
So we generally, for the Parks and Rec Commission, as long as you read the minutes, you can still
that's what I
approve them.
thought. Yeah.
I did great.
For the right, Lori's just joined as well.
Hi, I'm coming
Hi,
up.
Lori.
How are you?
Good.
I'm trying
Lori,
to get.
have you had a chance to read the November meeting minutes?
No, I have been underwater.
Okay, and I think you had a miss the November meeting, so maybe right.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
I
put Lori.
Anyway,
I have been single process. Yeah, it's just
okay,
work
but
from
Sarah,
home has overwhelmed me in the last 2 months, right, Sarah?
Sarah Keen has also approved them.
Okay.
So we have the number of approvals. Is there any nays? Any abstentions? I guess Lori, if you want to abstain.
Okay, I'll abstain.
Okay,
Okay.
I got it.
So then November meeting minutes have been approved. Thank you, Jamie, again for getting those out. Just Lori, recapitulating. Unfortunately, just 1 second. Susan Cater has resigned from the committee. She's no longer with the Department of Chamber of Commerce. So I offer that you don't have to resign from the committee. You can still be on the committee, even though you're not affiliated with the Chamber of Commerce, but she decided not to resign.
Is there a replacement for her?
No, I don't have a replacement for her. I don't know if they filled that position or.
I mean,
I know her email is not working anymore. With the her Chamber of Commerce email, it's not working anymore.
Yeah, and I think Al asked her because we all thought she had such great feedback. She wanted to stay anyways, and she felt that she wanted to move away. But regarding that position, I think they're talking to people. They haven't found someone yet, and it may shift because it wasn't necessarily that she was this. I think they decided they're going to. I mean, I think that they're reimagining that position, as I understand it. So they're kind of. It's evolving situation because I asked the same question of David Genovese and he was like, it's evolving. So
Got it.
I know
So moving on.
Libby is a member, is the treasurer actually of this committee.
Yeah.
She's also, I think, on the board of the chamber. So
yeah.
I'll reach out to Libby and just ask her, be surprised if, of that too.
Okay.
And so we do have a good link into the Chamber of Commerce with Libby. So moving on to the event, we have 3 events that were postponed to next year. The Heritage Day was postponed to May 15th. The Weed Beach Festival was postponed to June 5th. And the Anniversary Day was postponed to June 12th of next year. So remember those dates for a second, mid-May and the beginning of June, because I want to read you Jamie's December 3rd press release. Scott Lamont announced today that vaccine distribution will be completed in phases. Phase 1A is expected to begin in mid-December and will include vaccines for healthcare workers, nursing home residents, and medical first responders. Phase 1B will be in mid-January for critical workforce workers, older adults, and high-risk individuals under the age of 65. Phase 2, and this is important, for the remainder of the Connecticut population is planned for June of 2021. These dates are subject to change depending on deliveries from vaccine providers. So I was hoping that the vaccines would be available for the general public before June, sometime in the spring. But if these are subject to availability, if these don't change, the general population won't be vaccinated until starting sometime in June of next year. So I think beginning of next year, we're going to have to think very hard about if we're going to have these events, to have some contingency plans for these events if the general population doesn't start to get vaccinated. The Weed Beach Festival, Jamie, you can talk a little bit about it if you want, but we'll follow, I think, whatever the Department of Parks and Recreation decides, if they're going to postpone or if they're going to hold it. We're obligated to follow their lead on that. So, Jamie, if you have anything to say about that?
At this point, we met with the health department a couple weeks ago, but they're pretty much advising us to hold tight on things. At this point, no news is good news to us. They hoped by January that we would have, if there was going to be a decline or negative, going backwards, we would know in January. So at least that's what they're predicting, because they think the holidays are going to be the potential surge again. So we're hoping in January just to be able to make a more educated decision on what the future holds for us for programming and events. So I can't guarantee anything, but at least, we're following all the guidance from the health department, obviously from the state guidelines, but also directly with our Darien health department. So I'm hoping to potentially have a little more information in January at our next meeting, but I can't guarantee anything, but at least we'll have an idea of the direction that Parks and Rec is looking to go.
Okay, Sarah?
So I just to follow up on that, we did have someone, and I believe Maggie may have been on that call, and Caroline, speak specifically to the EDs, which are all the executive directors of the nonprofits. Someone from Wings Unlimited came, and they are an event planning business, and they have done all this research or whatever. And then I attended a thing via Schwab, and both of them said that there are really not going to be any in-person events anytime before November. I mean, September, that you should just not plan them. And so while I understand that the parks may not be ready to, I think it would be highly unrealistic. We just went through this whole thing with our benefit with our board, and we had a bunch of people research it. And we've got all these kind of like number crunchy people who are like looking up, you know, my mind was spinning. But I think that realistically, they're not going to be gatherings, you know, before September. I mean, at the earliest, I think. I don't know, Lori, you were in on a couple of those too. I mean, do you have some comments? You've done that for your job.
Next September, right? We have a tentative event.
Lori, we can't hear you, Lori. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Can you can't hear me?
No, no, no.
Okay.
Now we can.
We had an event that we were thinking of doing May, June in person, and it's getting pushed off to the fall. So
Yeah, and we had an event, we tried to book, we had an event in April. That's goodbye. We tried to rebook it at several venues in June, and they were like, are you crazy? So I don't want to be a giant naysayer. And I think maybe we wait and see what the parks decides in January. But I also think realistically, we don't want to wait till April or May to can this thing. I think we should be more realistic in our planning, because this, even if we get the vaccine, we have to, you know, it depends on who gets it. And then there's still going to be, I think, a skittish factor of people like, are they vaccinated? Are they not? I mean, you know, everyone, I don't know what to say, but I think that, you know, I think that it's just a consideration that we should, there's a hard reality that we're not going to be able to do this stuff in the spring. I mean, I hate that fact. Maggie.
Yeah. Can
Maggie?
what I was hoping, this is really an eye opener. Thank you, Lori and Sarah, for that feedback. I was kind of hoping that, like, maybe, who knows what would happen, but we need, not for the Bicentennial Bash, because that's a Parks and Rec and under Jamie, but I would think for Anniversary and Heritage Day, we need at least 3 months lead time to, you know, get the word out, design, you know, with working with Jamie, the graphic designer. I think that at the very least, we should ask the 5th, Karen, yet again, if they would be so kind as to give us a fall date, without, you know, if we want to wait until like February at the very latest to make a final decision on Anniversary Day and Heritage Day, but it would have to be at least by February. But at the very least, I think it's cautious, and especially based on what Sarah and Lori said, I think we should ask them for a fall date.
And, you know, the other thing that we should keep in mind is it might be smarter to do that sooner or later, because now everybody is rebooking stuff for the fall. So keeping in mind, I know Lori, we were having this conversation that there are certain dates that are already done in the fall in this area, you know, in certain venues, because there's this like backlog. So it was just a thought that maybe you should ask them what they have, and maybe we might want to get that on the calendar, town calendar, before something else happens, you know.
I will tell you, our daughter got engaged and, you know, had wanted a fall wedding next year. It's impossible because everything's booked, because everybody's rebooked to the fall. So, you know, and we'll be lucky to find, these are outdoor events held on our own property, so that's different. But if we were trying to book a place, it's just very difficult. There's just between the event backlog and the wedding backlog, it's just, I know Woodway has like 14 weddings on the books for next year, which is unheard of for them. So I just think everything just got backlogged.
Congratulations, Lori. And actually,
I love this. I mean, this is going to be I feel like that instead of being bummed about all this like delay, I feel like the really wonderful thing is when people can go outside and be together, we're going to have this amazing events for them. This is going to be awesome, where everyone's going to be like itching to get the heck out and to hang out together. And It'll be great.
Will be great.
So congratulations, Lori, on your
Thank you.
daughter's engagement. Actually, my son got married in September, but it was virtually because they decided not to wait. And then when all this COVID is over, they're going to have the ceremony. But,
Congratulations.
yeah. So Maggie, I wanted to say that on Tuesday, December 15th at 4 o'clock, there is a meeting with Heritage Day, and we'll talk with Karen, who's with the 5th Regiment, and decide on a contingency plan another date, sometime in the fall. Yeah.
If they
And
would.
thanks again, Sarah and
They've
Laura, for bringing this up.
been so flexible already, but yeah, we should maybe bring that up.
So,
Just another aside detail, based on what Lori's saying, for the anniversary day, maybe we should also reach out about the tent, just to be, have a backup date for that, and just get that the tent reserved too.
How many people go to anniversary day? Because I think it's possible by June that there would be, people seem much more comfortable at outside events, spaced out. Like I went to the Mather event, Mia was there, and everyone was spaced out. They had their masks on, the picnic blankets were all spaced out. I mean, I think anniversary day is a small group. Like it's possible we could still have that and just follow procedures. I mean, is it more than 50 or 100 people? I mean, it might.
I don't think so.
So I don't know how many people show up. The tent, we got chairs for 50 people, and that's how much the tent holds. The Daughters of the American Revolution said they're planning to have about 15 to 20 people come. However, Daughters of the American Revolution in June had an event where they limited it to 25 people or something like that. Whatever the guidelines were, I was there. Jamie Stevenson was there. A bunch of other people were there. So we could do something where you limited it to whatever it is, less than 100, less than 50, less than 25, and televise it. So it would be kind of nice to have it on June 12th is the actual anniversary. So we were probably expecting about 50 or so people to come, maybe a little bit more. So that is a possibility that we could have it restrict, it has to be RSVP, and restrict it to a number of people, whatever the guidelines are, and then televise it for everybody else.
That sounds like
the other two, Weed Beach and Heritage Day, are big, huge events with 1,000 or 2,000 people. Those, I think, we really have to entertain moving them out. But Jamie, it's up to your department what you want to do with Weed Beach. But definitely, Heritage Day should be moved out, I think. So we'll discuss that on Tuesday at the subcommittee meeting. But a lot of these, fortunately, we've had a year and a half to plan these. A lot of these are pretty well, like anniversary day is pretty well planned out. I think we've got a lot of planning also done with, and a lot of involvement with the First Congregational Church and with me and the Mather Center and with the Museum of Darien. Things that really, I think, the planning at least has really gotten a chance to do some good planning on that. Anything more on the event? Okay, moving on to the project. Again, we had a great spread in the New Canaan Darien and Row 8 magazine article.
Sorry, Al. I think there's some. Yeah. Does anyone else hear? It's hard to hear. Okay, there's some kind of back noise somewhere. Can't hear you.
Okay, so can everybody go on mute if you're not speaking? Maybe that's okay. Is that better? Yeah. Okay.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. If you're not speaking, please remain on mute then. So anyway, the New Canaan Darien and Row 8 magazine had a great article. Thanks again to Maggie and Claire Hunter, and also the writer of the article, Elizabeth Hull. It was a huge spread, a lot of stuff about the museum and also about our event, and a lot of history and celebrities who lived in Darien, a lot of great stuff. The merchandise and the ornaments are fantastic. Barrett's is selling the ornaments now, as well as hats and t-shirts, so you can go to Barrett's. A caveat though, if you buy an ornament or any of the merchandise, it has to be in cash. So Barrett's is only accepting cash for that. That's just how Sarah's working it. Obviously, other purchases can be with a credit card, but for the ornaments or any of the other merchandise, it has to be in cash. She says the ornaments are selling fast. A lot of people on the committee have requested some, but they haven't picked them up yet. So Sarah isn't here today, but she said on Sunday she'll be at her house. If you want to pick them up, please just text her and say you'll be there, or send her an email. So that's it for the merchandise. They make great gifts. I got all my kids one, and we have one. As far as the time capsule, Caroline, you want to take it away?
Sure. We have received 3 submissions, so looking for more. But really the publicity kind of just launched and is still going out. So it's a lot of town organizations are sending it out. We have it in like the At Home in Darien newsletter. The DCA is sending it out, the Darien Men's Association. So we're just reaching out to all different places, hoping to drive those a bit more. And then we can also extend our deadline if we don't get enough. That would be fine since everything else is being pushed back. And then we're also working with the schools at the same time. The history club at the high school is putting together a presentation that they're going to do for different classes. There's going to be a 5-minute video that everyone will see in their history classes. So that will kind of help the schools plan their items. So yeah, everything's up and running. I don't know if Al, if you have anything else to add, but.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank the Darien Times. They ran our press release for 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
So that was really great. And thanks, Linda, Larry, and Susan Marks. The press release is on the homepage of the Darien ct.gov. So our town's homepage, it's right on the right-hand side where it says upcoming events. You can just click on it and get to the link. And it's also on the 2020 website. Yeah, and they're also going to the schools. Bruce, who's a history teacher, and Dominic, who's the president of the history club, will be asking for submissions from all the schools, but also submissions for the time capsule. And let me think. And and thank you, Michelle. It's also on our 3, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. There was a notice put out with the link on that. So thanks a lot. And we're discussing some other things about if we don't get enough submissions or whatever. I know Sarah had some good suggestions about a contest and everything with the schools for the submissions. So we're also talking about that. And that's about it for that project. Anything else about the time capsule? It's going to be at the Museum of Darien for 50 years. Sarah?
Is the deadline still the 31st?
It's the 31st, but I'm sure that's going to be moved back. Like Caroline said, if we don't get submissions, we're going to move it out. So the library has a lot of stuff to do at the beginning of the year. You know, they're the organization that Caroline and Amanda will be publishing or be putting out the book. Right. That will contain all these submissions. But yeah, if we don't get enough, it's going to be pushed out. But Caroline, you want to?
December 9th. So if we're going to have a contest or something,
I know.
I mean, absolutely. Okay. We're so thankful for what the library is doing, but if everything's getting pushed out, maybe January 15th or something, it doesn't have to be like totally pushed out, but I think that like some people are so busy right now, even though there are no Christmas parties and stuff, it's just like the Zoom mania and end of year. So it may, kids being at home with the virtual learning, it may just having a couple extra weeks after the holidays might help if that's doable and not a strain on the resources, of course.
Yeah, I mean, the book doesn't have to be finished until we actually assemble it and present it, which will probably be at Heritage Day. So if we know that that's getting pushed back, then it's fine. We have some things in March and April, so we're trying to avoid that. But it can definitely go back, and then we could just finish it in the spring or summer. So we'll see.
Actually, the items that are going to be submitted from the schools, those we pushed out to mid-March. Mm-hmm. So yeah, these submissions for the book can be pushed out now as well, since everything is moving out. So that's it, I think, for the time capsule. Heritage Trail. So we need a project manager. We've got some ideas about reaching out to some organizations for a project manager. It's a great project. We've decided on the manufacturer. The sites are pretty well defined. They're pretty much approved. Thank you to the Darien Foundation. They're going to totally fund it. But a project manager would coordinate with the manufacturer and the writers and people who are doing the creatives, make sure that the finances are on track, get with the site owners and everything in the installation. So that's where that is. Sarah or Maggie, do you want to add something to that?
Well, one question, Maggie, I know we're going to talk to a candidate last week, possibly.
Right. Yeah. No, I haven't. We were doing our annual meeting last weweek, so that kind of took priority. But I will still reach out to her.
I've mentioned to a couple of people. I mean, the only things I would add is one, we're going to look closely at the budget for this, because Al was very wise in pricing everything at like the higher level. And what we were probably going to do, there's such great Maggie and those guys have such great content. We probably we're going to look at bringing in a copywriter just to kind of, so the Maggie doesn't have to write the whole thing. And we have a candidate who grew up in Darien who is willing to do it at a reduced rate, who we've worked with on other projects. So we're excited about that. And then what Al's calling the project manager, and we're happy to like tweak that title however someone wants it, director of the Heritage Trail or whatever. I put some feelers out. We're putting feelers out because it's sort of like being the chair of an event. It's great thing to have on your resume, especially particularly for moms or anybody who's been out of the workforce for a while and wants to get back in. They like to, it's a really cool volunteer job because it involves, working with the government of the town, working with the Darien Foundation, working with the 2020 committee. So we have high hopes that through the Mom Channel and or volunteer match, whatever, if you know anybody who it's strictly a volunteer role who would be interested in, this is a year that there's no fundraiser. So I think that there are people out there who are excited to get involved, excited to have a project, who might be available. So that's what we're hoping to do, just because everybody in the 2020 committee and everybody at Museum of Darien is just so strained. We really want one person to kind of corral it all. And I think it'll work out wonderfully. We're talking to a few people. If you know somebody, any of you who is looking for a volunteer gig, please let us know. I think one of the great things about this is that it's not, I mean, obviously the deadline is tied to 2020, which has kind of been floating because of COVID. And it's not like the event is on May 5th, which can, the week before, if you're a mom, like, oh my God, the week before the event that you're hosting is nightmare. This is sort of like, we have deadlines, but there'll be some flexibility. They can do it at home. I think it's a very mom friendly and or person who has other commitments friendly situation where I don't think, a lot of it's already there. It's more of an organizational role. They don't have to like write the content or anything. So if you could keep your thoughts, I know a lot of people on the committee are very connected. Lori, Susan, keep it in your head, Mia, of if you know someone who's looking for a really fun volunteer gig with a great title. So
yeah, it's a great project, and something you'll be able to point out to your friends and relatives and kids that you manage this, something really, really good. I think now the general discussion, I'll just open it up. Libby emailed us that there's no additions or subtractions from our finances. We're still where we are. We got the cake banners. So hopefully sometime next year we'll be able to roll out the cake. I think that's about it. Anybody else have anything? Oh, what a cute, is that a puppy?
Oh my God. I'll mute in case she barks.
Oh, you got her.
So cute.
Adorable.
What's her name?
That's a yellow lab, I guess. It's a yellow lab? You can nod your head.
Yellow lab. It's so hard to get a rescue dog. I had to get a dog, but it's like a nice guy who bred his dog in Norwalk or whatever. But yes, The first time I ever gotten a rescue dog. The good news is with the pandemic, you can't get one. They're like really hard to get.
So cute. Oh my goodness. I want a puppy.
There, I have extra training pads for you if you need them. I don't need them.
She's weirdly, now I don't want to jinx myself, but she because the breeder had the puppies in his house and they would just take them outside and they had paper in a corner. So far, she's keyed to newspaper in her little corner of the bathroom, or she goes outside. Like, I don't want to jinx it. The minute I say she's house trained, there'll be a problem. But so far, it's been amazing. So, right, little girl?
He's so cute.
You want to chew on dick?
So Al, if I could just say something, I just wanted, this whole committee has done such an incredible job, and all of us have given like so much time and talent and energy. And I just want to thank everybody for staying on through 2021. It's been, we promised a commitment that was going to be over. I think, when was it going to be over? Like in June of
in June.
So it's continuing to 2021, the fall. So thank you. And also, I just want to point out, we had our annual meeting the other day, and we were talking about 2020. And I asked Al, I was like, I knew that there were a lot of subcommittees, and all of us are involved in a lot of different, maybe, even a few subcommittees, but there's been one person who's been managing all of the subcommittees. And I asked, I wanted to find out like the number of subcommittees that have taken off from this one committee. And I thought it was a certain number, but it's actually 9. And Al has been managing 9 subcommittee meetings on top of the, and so I just want to, again, I guess I didn't realize it was 9. So thank you, Al, for your incredible, all of us, but Al, like your incredible commitment for this has been really.
Thank you, and
Yay, Al!
Thank everybody. Thank everybody. You guys have been
Thank
great.
you, Al.
It's been a lot of fun.
Al, you have done a great job. Great job.
Thank you, everybody. So I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and a Happy New Year. Our next meeting is second week in January. It's supposed to snow this morning, up to 1 inch. It doesn't look like it, but that's what the weather report said.
Al, how's your garage?
Up to 1 inch.
How did
My
your
garage, it's still waiting for the people to completely demolish it. A large tree fell on my garage, and we had the adjuster come out, insurance adjuster. It's completely totaled. So they fixed the roof of my house, but the garage is going to be a big project. Well, I'll have a new garage when it's over. Anyway, so that's it. Anybody? Does anybody have anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn? Oh, motion to adjourn.
Have a good holiday, everybody.
And a second.
Thank you, y'all too.
A second.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Have a good holiday.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jamie, for
Bye.
taking the
Bye,
meeting.
everyone.
Happy holidays.
Stay well.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
So cute.